everyone. Welcome to this new update, this time for the full moon in Scorpio, also known as the full moon of WESAK. This happens on the 1st of May this year at 5 p.m. 23 Universal Time, Greenwich Time, and the moon is going to be at 11 degrees and 21 minutes of Scorpio. This moon of WESAK, interestingly enough, falls on the same day as Beltane, the ancient Celtic celebration of nature, procreation, nature being in full bloom. And it's also the 1st of May, which is Labor Day, which means that during this day, a lot of minds are going to be connected to this date as something specific, as something special, and which means also the collective psyche is uniting around one particular event. And that's very important because that amplifies the effect of this full moon and the information it has for us. Before we dig into the full moon, the meaning and the energy it's bringing to us, I want to talk to you about an important event that happened last weekend of 24, 25, and 26 of April, which is the move of Uranus from Taurus into Gemini. It's going to be there for 7 years. And for these 7 years, it's opening a cycle that is very much related to expanding our mind, expanding and liberating our mind and mental structures. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. It's related to truth, to freedom, to expansion, also to receiving the inspiration by cleaning our minds, by purifying our minds. And Gemini is, by excellence, the sign of the mind, of thought, of communication as well. So here we have, let's say, the two octaves of the same concept, which is mind, the lower mind in Gemini, the higher mind of Aquarius, born here by Uranus. So we can expect that to change a lot in the way we think, the way we perceive our reality, the way we communicate, but it can also spark a big, big wave of creativity, both individually and collectively. You can check also where that falls on your chart to see which area of your life is going to be affected most. But for sure, it is a very important move that is bound to have an important aspect on us collectively. And for sure, it will unfold over the next few weeks and months. Now, WESAK, so what is WESAK in the Buddhic tradition? It is said that during these days, the full moon in WESAK, Christ and Buddha gather in ceremony in the Himalayas, and with their disciples and other masters, and they deliver their blessings onto humanity. And our role in that ceremony is to anchor those blessings, because they bear the information of the fate and the destiny of humanity for the next year. So I really like this image because it reminds us of our place as incarnated being in our reality, but also our place in the hierarchies of consciousness or the levels of consciousness. So it places us back in a position where we are receiving and delivering. We are anchors for higher planes of consciousness that allow us to shape this reality. And Beltane comes as a reinforcement of this notion. A little clarification. It is very specific special that this year Beltane and WESAK fall on the same day. They don't normally fall on the same day. Beltane, yes, it falls. It's the midpoint between the spring equinox and the summer solstice, and it falls usually on the 1st of May. But the full moon in WESAK, it falls on a different day every year. But it's interesting that today, this year it falls on the same day as Beltane. So coming back to Beltane and what it means, it's symbolically related to us recognizing the divine spark and the divine within us, and opening ourselves to receiving its messages. So it in a certain way, recognizing our divine nature and our connection to the divine, which is kind of what WESAK is telling us in a way. It's related to the heart chakra, which is where that divine is dwelling, where it's the sacred space for that higher consciousness to be within us and to speak to us from. The Taurus-Scorpio axis is very interesting because it's the axis of matter and transformation. Taurus is where the divine learns the joy and the beauty of incarnation, and constructs and builds the home and the all the structure, all what is necessary for the divine spark that we met in Aries last month. So it builds all that is necessary for that spark to thrive. So it has a tendency for stability, for immobility and fixity. It's a fixed sign. On the opposite of that, we have the moon in Scorpio, and Scorpio is about transformation. It's about transcendence. It's about dying and being reborn into something greater and also wiser. It's literally the alchemist of the zodiac. So here, where Taurus is a movement downward, so the divine coming to earth and finding its place, Scorpio reminds us that there's the other movement from what we have experienced and learning the lessons of that and transcending so that we can move into a different state of being from the experience we gathered into matter to bring it back to the divine as a learning, as a teaching, so that we can embody a more conscious version based on our experience. So Taurus anchors, Scorpio transmutes. And this is what we are being reminded here during this moon, that we're reminded to open ourselves to that divine, to anchor it, and that will lead us to transformation. So when the masters bless us during WESAK, they also deliver to us the information towards our transformation, because our path is constant movement, and ultimately it is definitely leading us to transformation, whether we want it or we don't, because that's the engine of life, right? We have a very interesting and very close connection with a fixed star for this full moon. We have Acrux, which is a fixed star in the brightest star at the bottom of the Southern Cross, that is tightly conjunct the moon in Scorpio. So Acrux is a triple star called the light bearer. It's the star of the light bearer is also the other name for Venus. So just to be clear, Venus is not Acrux. They are two different celestial bodies, but I find it very interesting that they bear the same name. Venus being the ruler of Taurus. And we can see this triple star called the light bearer, as the same name as Venus, as perhaps the three manifestations of the feminine in the form of Venus, Hera, and Athena, which are love, wisdom, and will, which are also the attributes that we want to integrate to enter the age of Aquarius. So I find it's a very interesting a connection that we have here with Acrux. Acrux is also the guardian of memory. So, and it's asking us, when it is activated like this, to become a receiver of Christic light and incarnate the ray of compassion. So you see here, at this very specific degree of the moon, there's a very important reinforcement of the message of WESAK. Again, and mostly because of its relationship to Christic light. So what does that tell us? It's like we are being asked here to be the Graal, the sacred Graal, the cup that will hold the light and pour it around us, anchor it, and pour it around us for humanity. So this is really, really a powerful connection that we have here with this sacred with this fixed star. Sorry. Let's look at Venus as well. Venus, the ruler of Taurus, which is being made resonant not only because the sun is in Taurus and Taurus is involved in this full moon, but also because of Acrux that has the same name as Venus. So Venus, the ruler of Taurus, is conjunct Aldebaran, the eye of God. Aldebaran is the brightest star of the constellation of Taurus. It's one of the ancient royal stars. So it bears a very, very powerful energy of creation and primordial creation, really from the beginning of time. And here it's connecting to Venus, and it's exactly opposite the heart of Scorpio and Taurus. So again, that axis of creation and transformation is being activated also at a higher and a more subtle level through these two fixed stars. So the invitation is very clear here for this full moon. We are talking about receiving divine light, receiving an information that is very special for today and that has the possibility to impact us all as humanity. It's talking to us about alchemization. So the message for this moon is very clear and simple and very focused. It is a very strong and directed invitation to open our minds, our hearts to more subtle information, realities, inspiration. Remember, Gemini and Uranus about the mind and the activation of the heart, or all the other information that I gave earlier. The image of the Graal is a very significant one and summarizes it all about the reception, to become a receptacle for light, divine light, or higher consciousness, you can call it, and to anchor it into the matter, understanding that our place is as not only as anchors, but also as being in service to the rest of humanity. Every single thing that we do individually, and this moon is reminding that, it is reminding us of that. Every single thing we do individually is of service to the collective. And this is what we need to remember in this moon of WESAK. I hope this has been useful to you. My proposal for today to activate this energy within us is to practice together an ancient Vedic practice called Tratak or Trataka, which is the art or the practice of focusing to clear our mind, to unify our vision. And today we're going to practice it with a candle. So I will see you in a second with a candle. I will be guiding you with my voice during the practice. Thank you very much, and I will see you at the next one. I invite you to sit comfortably and to place the screen at the same height as your eyes. Place your screen at about 50 to 90 centimeters from where you are, so that you can have a comfortable view of the flame. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And now focus your gaze on the flame on the center of the screen. placing your entire focus, attention, mind on this point. Over the course of this practice, you might see the image become double and move. Let that happen. And just simply keep your focus on the flame. If and what at some point tears appear in the corner of your eyes, let that happen and you can stop your practice then.